And as I'm walking up the stairs toward his room, I smell weed. And we've had this talk before, and I realize it's 2018 and we're in Colorado, uh, and we have guidelines and I have rules around. Hey, we certainly don't smoke weed on school nights. Now, he's gonna go out and do it with his friends, and I know there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, "Oh my God, what, you like let him smoke it on the weekend?" Well, this is where we need to look at the world, look at the exact situation, look at our boundaries, and look at what's responsible, right? So he's had a history of not following rules, not listening to what I've asked, basically. And if I know he's going to go out and do it with his friends anyway, okay, and then I have to ask my question, well, what are my rules? And what am I trying to teach my son? And I want to teach him moderation. And I want him to understand the difference between, say, doing something for fun, like smoking for fun, and smoking to alleviate some kind of emotion or to like help him go to sleep. Now, we've chosen to not use medication ever for our son, and with his sensory issues and ADD type issues, it's a choice. And so my choice has been to try to help him learn moderation and yet still have rules. So my rules are, we certainly don't smoke on school nights. Now, that doesn't mean you just get blazed on the weekend every single day and all that. However, here's my boundaries. And I'm walking up the stairs and I smell weed. And so I'm like, "Hey dude, I smell weed." "Well, I didn't smoke." And now we've had a problem with lying as well. I've had a problem with him lying. We've had a problem with him lying. And so I've stopped asking questions that I don't already basically know the answer to around if he's breaking rules, if he's breaking boundaries. So I said, "Well, I didn't ask if you were smoking. What I said was, I smell weed." And that violates my boundaries and our rules. And, "Well, I'm not smoking anything." And he said it like two more times, and it's blatant that he's lying to me. I mean, it's like, obvious. And I was in a really tough spot. So, what do you do? Am I going to like dig through his room right now? It's 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. Am I going to make a scene out of this? Am I going to, accuse him of lying or before bedtime and make this whole scene and attract energy to this negative situation? Don't want to do those things. I don't want to search through his room and like, what if I don't find it? And how long is it going to take me to find it? And now we're into the night and it's this, again, whole scene. And I already know that he's smoked and he's broken the boundary of, if I smell weed, you're breaking a boundary. So I actually said, okay, we're going to flip this on its head. And in the morning, if you're honest with me, we can discuss potential of how you're going to earn time with friends, because I know you wanted time with friends today. It's Friday night today, it's Friday today. And if you're honest with me, we can discuss what it'll take to earn that. If you're not, then there's no chance of you having being with friends or any kind of privileges at all. And that actually went really well. He said, okay, we hugged goodnight, he went to bed. So number one, I avoided a big scene out of something negative. He already knows he's breaking a rule. Like, I don't need to reiterate what I've already talked about many times. Also want to preserve the relationship with him, even though from his side, the lying and the breaking the rules is damaging the relationship. And this is something I've talked to them about. But my goal is to teach my 14-year-old son. And just punishing him or being like angry about it, like just that alone, like isn't working. It isn't doing it. So let's try something different. And this morning when he got up, I only said, hey, good morning, and he got up all on his own, and he took a shower, and he's getting ready for school, and that's actually been going really well. And when he was in the shower, I decided to go ahead and look in his room for a few minutes to see if I could see it. That way I'm not making a scene out of it. If I don't find it, he doesn't really know. And by the way, if you break boundaries and I smell weed, you lose privacy. Having the freedom and having privacy goes away when you break boundaries and break rules. So normally I don't go through his stuff if there's no boundaries broken. But if I smell weed, that's boundary broken, and now you lose privacy. So I went in and, he wasn't even really hiding it. It was just right under his bed right there. And so I went ahead and took it and didn't say anything about it. He got out of his shower. I sat downstairs and waited like I normally do. I was just kind of sitting and meditating, looking out the window. And he came down and he says, well, I see that you took it, and I was going to give it to you. I was going to be honest, but you already took it. So now here's another spot where I'm not going to get into well, that's easy to say because now I found it, so now you have to be honest with me. And you wouldn't have been on, what am I going to do? Try to get into some accusative, negative conversation? No, I said, telling me now isn't being honest about you smoking last night. Yes, I went into your room and I took it. What I would like is for you to be honest about that that you smoked last night, that you smoked yesterday. He said, yeah, I did. So I said, okay, well, I really appreciate you being honest. I appreciate that. Then I stopped right there. I didn't stack anything else on. Obviously, we need to have something else needs to happen for the lying. Not letting that go. It's not going away, but I'm just not stacking it right now. He basically just admitted and was honest to me, so I want to appreciate that. I want to recognize that, and I don't want to stack that with anything else. So I waited, and we had a good morning, and I praised him on being already on his own, and we talked about other things. And then on the car ride, I brought up, hey bud, yesterday when we talked about how if you lie and break boundaries, it hurts the relationship between us. And last night, you decided to break the rules and smoke, which is one thing, and then you decided to lie to me, which is a whole other thing and damages our relationship. And it's hard for me to understand because it appears that you're putting smoking weed as a priority above our relationship. That's what it feels like to me when you decide to break this rule and you smoke and then you lie. And that really hurts our relationship. I'm kind of changing the ground rules around privileges and friends and things so hey buddy, thank you for being honest with me. We started this morning basically at complete ground level zero with my trust of you and your privileges. And you were honest with me that you smoked last night, so you earned a tiny bit. But right now, we're basically at ground zero, and that means you have no freedoms and no privacy. If I can't trust you, you have no freedoms, no privacy, no privileges, no friends, no tech, no phone, no nothing. And you're going to earn those things. And we'll talk about how you can earn those things. But right now, also, it hasn't worked with me trusting you. So now that we're at level zero and you continue to lie to me, I'm going to take the door off your room. And we can talk about how you can earn that back as well. But right now, it's level zero. And, again, thank you for being honest this morning. And you did awesome getting ready and things. And that's where we are. And then I didn't stack anything else again. I didn't lean in, and I didn't rub it in or use guilt or anything else. I just let him sit with that for a while. I let myself just feel my body, feel what I was going through. Then we talked about some other things. We put some different music on. And it actually went really well as far as his reaction. Many times in the past, he would have just been explosively angry. And if you've seen any of my other videos, I've been working on him being honest with his anger and being in touch with it and responding in things in a more mature way and not shutting down, but also not being just blatantly angry or like blaming me or just. So that's actually progressing really well, I have to say, as far as his response. And so, it's a tough journey. I told him last night, like, this is really tough sometimes. And it's, I was being real with him. Like, this is really tough sometimes. And I want our relationship to be good. But here's my boundaries. Like, I'm not going to be mistreated. And that's where we are. See you later.
I'ma tell you about a woman whose heart is sunshine, whose body burned hot. I'ma tell you about a woman who's cold as tundra, with some frozen eyes. I can tell by the way she moves that she cares, and it's lovely too.